Hi five, and welcome to another maths lesson. Today we are looking at practicing multiplying 4 digits by 2 digits. Once again, words of the day are placeholder, so think about when we need to use that. And we have our 2 practice questions. So if you pause the video, just have a go at this short multiplication. Okay, let's have a look at the answers for those two. So we've got 7,834 times 7 and 6,293 times 8. Here are our answers. The first answer is 54,838 and the second answer is 50,344. So well done if you got those. Okay, we have another memory game here. So just remember, you'll get a minute to write down as many things as you can remember after you've seen this picture for 1 minute. So I'm going to start the timer in 5 seconds and put the picture up. I'll give you 1 minute. Ready? Go. Let's go through a few things that you might not be sure of. So we have a wooden hammer, coin, can, leaf, a lantern, a fan, magnifying glass, kiwi, crab, leaf, another strawberry. I think that was a strawberry last time, unless I'm imagining it. I might think of the art lesson the other day. I have a mouse, some scissors, dartboard. So just over 15 seconds left to memorize those 20 items. Five seconds. Okay, you have a minute to write down as many things as you can that you can remember. So can you think of any foods? Can you think of any living things? Can you think of anything that might have had some interesting symbols on it? Can you think of any tools? Okay, so you have 15 seconds left. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1, 0. Right, time's up. So stop writing those things down and we're going to check to see how many you got correct. So just count up all the things you got correct. So did you remember the key? Did you remember the football, the darts board, the crab, the fan, the can, the lemon, the bulb? Which of those did you remember? I wonder if you're getting better at telling a little story to keep those in your head, or if you've come up with another method to try and remember them. Right, we're going to move straight into the questions today. So we're going to look at some practice questions for long multiplication. And our first question, which has been set out for us in our column method, is 1,207 times by 36. Oh, it's the wrong button there. So the first thing we're going to do is multiply our ones column. So our first question here, I'll just go in here, get my pen ready in case I need it. So we have 7 times 6. We know that is 42. So our 4 goes over to our tens column and our 2 goes into our ones. Then we have 6 times 0, tens. Anything times 0 is 0. We need to remember we can't just write 0 straight in because we've got this 4 tens there. So the 4 tens gets added to the 0. We get 4 tens. Next we have 6 times 200. 200 times 6 or 6 lots of 200, which is 1,200. So we exchange our 1,000 over, we put our 200 in, and then our final bit for the ones is 6 times 1,000, which is 6,000. Add the 1,000 we've exchanged over, gives us 7,000. So the ones column, 1,207 times 6 is 7,242. Then we need to move into our tens column. So we're looking at multiplying this 3 by the 7, the 0, the 2 and the 1 now. So we've got 1,207 times 30, which is going to go in here before we add our answers together. Right, so we need 30 times 7 at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my placeholder in so I can make this a little bit easier for myself, so I don't have to think that as a 30 anymore. I'm just going to think of it as a 3. So 3 times 7 is 21. So we exchange our 2 over, put a 1 in. 3 times 0. Anything times 0 is 0. You cannot put your 0 straight in because you've got this 2. So 0 add 2 is 2. Then we have to do 3 times 2, or 2 times 3, which is 6. There's no numbers that have been exchanged. We don't have to worry about those. We put our 6 straight in. And then finally, we have our 3 times 1. 3 times 1 is 3. So we've got these two numbers now. We need to add them up. So we've got 2 add 0, which is 2. 40 add 10, which is 50. 200 add 200, which is 400. 7,000 add 6,000, which is 13,000. 30,000 add 10,000, which is 40,000. So 43,452 is the answer. Okay, so we have Tiny the turtle back here, and they are saying 147 times 6 is 844. So have a think about that and think how you know that is wrong. A moment to pause the video and have a little think. So without working it out using your short multiplication, how do you know that's wrong? Because when we look at this, we've got, if we multiply our ones column, 7 times 6, we know that's 42. So we would definitely have a 2 in the ones column. Tiny's got a 4, so he is definitely wrong. Even if the other digits were correct, he's definitely wrong because the ones column is not correct. Let's have a look what it should be. 147 times 6. 7 times 6 is 42. Put my 4 into my tens column. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 4 is 28. The 8 goes in the tens, the 2 comes over to the hundreds column. Last but not least, we do 6 times 100, which is 600. Add the 200, exchanged, is 800. So in the end, it was just the ones column I made a mistake on. We can see that without doing the calculation, just by doing our ones. 7 times 6 is 42, so it should be the 2 in the ones column. So Tiny, you are wrong again. Let's put a cross for you. You need to concentrate when doing your questions, Tiny. Okay, so let's have a look at these questions. So think about them in the same way. Think about how you can tell if they're correct or not. So the question is, could these calculations be correct? So 214 times 5 equals 1,071. Is that correct? So could it be correct, or is it definitely incorrect? Without working it out using short multiplication, just maybe look at the ones. Next one, 2 times 293 is 576. So is that one, could it be correct, or is it definitely incorrect? And the last one, 3 times 431 equals 1,292. Is that in this column could be correct, or in this one definitely incorrect? Okay, let's look at this one, 214 times 5. This is definitely incorrect. It's definitely incorrect because 4 times 5 is 20. So why is there a 1 in the ones column when there should be a 0? Now we're going to look at this one, 2 times 293, which is 596 according to that. So it could be correct if we just work out the ones, because 2 times 3 is 6, so it could be correct. It's not saying it's definitely correct, it's saying it could be. Next one, 3 times 431 equals 1,292. Which way do you think that goes? So that goes over here. So once again, if we look at the ones, 3 times 1 is 3. It is not 2. So that's definitely incorrect. Okay, so I'm just going to skip over that one. If you wanted to pause and have a go at some of the questions on the worksheet, that's fine, because now we're just going to have a look at some word problems before we move on to our worksheet, which includes questions set out in the column method and word problems where you have to set it out yourselves. So a machine makes 2,734 boxes every hour. The machine works for 3 hours each day. How many boxes will it make in 12 days? So have a think, what's the first calculation you need to make? Right, so the first calculation you need to make is working out how many it makes each day before we work out how many it works in total. So it makes that many every hour, but it only works for 3 hours a day. That sounds quite good. So 2,734 boxes every hour, and there's 3 hours. You have to times that by 3, which is what we've done down here. And you'll notice it's just a short multiplication here. We've just got a ones column. So let's go through this. So 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 30 is 90. Add 10 is 100. 3 times 700 is 2,100. Plus 100 is 2,200. And 3 times 2,000 is 6,000. Plus 2,000 is 8,000. Are we finished? No, we are not, because we haven't done this bit yet. How many boxes will it make in 12 days? So what do you think we need to do now? If I was to suggest that we do 2,734 times 12, what would you say? Well, hopefully you've said that's wrong, because that's just 1 hour times 12 days, and we've worked out that it's 3 hours each day, so we need to do this number, 8,212 times 12, because that's 1 day, we want 12 days. Let me just get rid of all that so we're not getting distracted. Okay, so here we've gone through 8,202 times 12. We've got the answer there. What I'm going to do, however, is I'm going to go back. I'm going to work this out together. Just look at this process. So 8,202 times 12. Okay, so we need my red for my question. I'm going to change it to blue for my ones column. So let's go for the ones. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 lots of 0 is 0. 2 lots of 200 is 400. 2 times 8,000 is 16,000. So we've got our 16,000 for our ones. Done my ones. I'm going to change my colour to do my tens. It's a bit covered up here, but my words that it's placeholder. So I'm going to put placeholder in here. And then we're going to go straight in with 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 8 is 8. Did I know? I need to add those. So, one more time, change my colour, my pen to, let's do purple. Hopefully that looks different enough. So 4 plus 0 is 4. 0 at 20 is 20. 400 at nothing is 400. 6,000 at 2,000 is 8,000. 10,000 at 80,000 is 90,000. So the answer is 98,424 boxes in 12 days. And here's covering up a bit, but 98,424, you can see we have the same answer. All right, let's look at another question. And there's another way of doing it. So same question, because it doesn't matter which order you do it in, you can either do 2,734 times 3 and then times that by 12, or you can start here and do 3 times 12 and then times it by that. So we're going to try it in a different way. So 3 times 12 is 36, and then we times it by our first number. So let's just have a quick look at that. So we know we have to do, from our first question, or the first time we looked at it, is 2,734 times 3. And once we got our answer, we times that by 12. So what we're saying here is we could do this bit first before we do the next bit. So just rub those out. That's a bit clearer. So 3 times 12 is 36. So we can do that one in our head really easily, and then we've just got one lots of long multiplication to do. So if I put those there, the answer's going to come straight up. We get the same answer. However, we're practicing our times tables, so let's go through it together. So 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 3 tens is 18 tens, plus 2 tens is 20 tens. So we have to exchange. 6 times 700 is 42 hundredths, plus 2 is 44 hundredths, or 4,400. 6 times 2,000 is 12,000, plus 4,000 is 16,000. You might recognise that number. What I'm going to do now is going to erase them so don't get confused. I'm going to go to my green. I can't remember if I used green before, it doesn't really matter. So now we're back on to our tens column, so I don't have to do 30 times 4. I'm going to use my placeholder. And then go straight in with 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 1 is 22. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. Once again, I'm going to get rid of these so I don't get confused. I'm going to change my colour so it's nice and clear to my purple. 4 add 0 is 4, 0 add 20 is 20, 400 add 0 is 400, 6,000 add 2,000 is 8,000, 1,000 add 80,000, sorry, 10,000 add 80,000 is 90,000. So we get the same answer, 98,424. Okay, so that's just a different way of looking at it. Right, so we have another type of question here. What is the smallest product you can make that's also an odd number? We have 5 number cards here. So if you pause the video and have a go at this question and see what you get. Okay, so I've got 5 number cards here. An odd, so just going back over what we've learnt previously, we've gone over this a few times in maths. So odd times an odd number gives an odd. So 3 times 3 is 9, 7 times 7 is 49, 5 times 5 is 25. You're always going to get an odd number if you times an odd one by an odd one. If you times an odd number by an even number, for example, 3 times 2, you're going to get an even number. If you times an even number by an even number, you're also going to get an even number. So we need to do odd times odd. So what up here are we not going to have in our ones column? So we're not going to have a 2 in there. We're not going to have a 6. We have a 5, a 7, or a 3. So let's try with a 7 in there and a 5 in there. Have a think about why we're putting our larger odd numbers in the smallest column. Right, so we're putting them in there because we want the smallest product. So if we put our odd numbers over here, we're going to get a high one. So let's put our big numbers in the lowest column, so they end up being smaller. So we've used those already. So which number do we put where to make the smallest possible answer? We'll put our 2 down there, because if we're timesing it by 30 or 60, it's going to get even bigger. So let's put 2 there. Where do you think the 6 goes, and where do you think the 3 goes if we're trying to make the smallest number possible? So our 3 is going to go there, because if you put a 6 in the hundreds column, it's going to be bigger. 600 times 25 is going to be bigger than 300 times 25. So we put our 6 in there. So we figured out there has to be an odd number in there to make it odd. We figured out the 2 has to go there. So we have a smaller number. We have to figure out 6 can't go in the highest column if we want the smallest product. So now we have to work this out. 367 times 25. Okay, once again, it's just jumped to the end. So let's go through this together. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 3 is 33. 5 times 300s is 1500s, plus 300s is 1800s. Let's change colour. Let's go back to red. I'm going to put my placeholder in. I'm going to do 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 6. Then I'm going to add them together. 5 add 0 is 5. 30 add 40 is 70. 800 add 300 is 1,100. 6,000 add 1,000 add 1,000 is 8,000. So the smallest product is also an odd number. It's 8,000. Oh, what did I do there? Ooh, interesting. Did you spot what mistake I made? There we go. When I did 2 times 3, I put my answer 6 in, when in actual fact I forgot to exchange that. So then we get 1,000 add 7,000 add 1,000 is 9,000. So well done if you spotted that mistake as I went through. So the answer is 9,175. Okay, let's look at another word problem. Amir scores 4,680 points in a computer game for 12 games in a row. Whitney scores 2,512 points every game for 24 games. Who scores more points? So what do you need to work out? Well, you need to work out how many points Amir scores. So how many have we got here? So we have 24 games there. 6 lots of 4, 12 lots of 2, product of 4 more than 6, 24, the product of 12 and 2. If you double one factor and halve the other factor, your product will remain the same. So that's an interesting way of thinking about it. So we have Amir with 12 lots of 4,680 and we have Whitney with 24 lots of 2,512. So 12 is half of 24. And is 4,680 doubled that? So if you're halving this size, you need to double this size so it's an equal number. Pretty sure 4,680 is not double 2,512 because double 2,500 is 5,000. Which means that 4,680 is smaller than 5,000, which means Whitney scores more. So that's just showing you a different way of working it out. You could work it out with your long multiplication, work out exactly the right answer, which some of you might have done, which is fine. Or you could have noticed, so with all these factors here, we're looking at how you can make 24. So 6 times 4. 2 times 12. So what we're showing is that 24 is double 12. So then if we get through to here, same with multiplication, if you double this side, or half it this way, let's do it that way, it's a bit easier. If you half this side, you need to double this side so you get exactly the same answer. And we are doubling this side, but we are not halving this side. So it's going to be smaller. You can also approach that with a long multiplication method if you want to, if that makes more sense. Okay, so your activities has been assigned to you once again on Teams and Tapestry, so whichever method you prefer. Teams will probably be better, so it's easier for us to mark and give you feedback. Thank you very much for listening in such a focused manner, attentively. Is that word that I struggled with last time? In such a focused manner. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for taking part. I look forward to seeing how you do. If you have any problems, just remember to tell us about those on the live feedback sessions so we can talk them through with you. Speak to you soon.